In the last 4 years, Serge Milinkovic-Savic has contributed 61 goals for Lazio. Yuri Tillemans only 36 for Leicester City. Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world, my friends, and also my potential enemies. Because on this video, we are going to agree to disagree. Just like you've seen the title, we are choosing and deciding our next central midfielder between Serge Milinkovic-Savic and Yuri Tillemans. You're gonna do the same job you always do on the channel. Get in the comment section and tell me which player do you choose. But on this video, we are gonna use some logic. So you're gonna need a reason as to why you're going for Yuri Tillemans or Serge Milinkovic-Savic. In my attempt to find who is the better guy, I've tried to compare the players on a couple of grounds: goal contribution, versatility, attack, passing, and defending. We'll look at all these attributes of the game and see which player actually outweighs the other. You will be very surprised. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 800 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Let this video take us to 52,000 subscribers. But it is time to choose. Talk to me in the comment section. Talk to me. Which player do you think, like when you have watched them, probably on YouTube clips, probably you've had a chance to watch Lazio, and you've also had a chance to watch Leicester City. Which player do you think intrigues you more? Which player do you think Arsenal will actually survive and thrive with? Because we're looking for survivor in this very difficult Premier League race now, where we have so many clubs buying quality. And we are also looking to thrive because we are a big club and we should be thriving. We should be going back to the UEFA Champions League, winning it, trying to win the Premier League. We should be thriving. So for us to thrive, we need the best talent and the best quality. Let me know in the comments below. Now, let's start off with goal contribution then. Now, if you look at the last two, what I've done here is I've looked at the last 4 years, because Yuri Tillemans has only spent 4 years at Leicester City in the Premier League, starting in 2018. So that is what I've done. I've looked at the last 4 years, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Serge Milinkovic-Savic has contributed 61 goals for Lazio in the last 4 years. Yuri Tillemans only 36. Serge Milinkovic-Savic has scored 31 goals for Lazio and assisted 30 times during that period of time. Yuri Tillemans, during the same period of time, has assisted 18 times and scored only 18 times. So in terms of goal contribution, in terms of who is going to affect the game more with numbers, assisting and scoring goals, it is Serge Milinkovic-Savic. But one of the reasons there, lads, is also the fact that he predominantly played, or not really predominantly, but some of the time he has played as an attacking midfielder for Lazio, and that can be shown very well by his statistics on the SofaScore. He has played as a central midfielder, but he has also had a significant amount of time to play as an attacking midfielder for Lazio. While Yuri Tillemans, of course, we know that James Maddison is that kind of number 10, that kind of traditional number 10, always ahead of him. So Yuri Tillemans has not really played as a number 10 or attacking midfielder most of the time when he played for Leicester City. So that could explain the drastic difference why Serge Milinkovic-Savic has scored more goals and assisted almost double than Yuri Tillemans across the same period of time. Now, in terms of versatility, you will be very surprised, but Yuri Tillemans wins on that one. Yuri Tillemans can play for you and has played for Leicester City as a defensive midfielder. He's played for them as a central midfielder, which a position that he predominantly appears in, and has also at times appeared as an attacking midfielder. That is when they lack the services of James Maddison, and of course he's played as a defensive midfielder at times when they lack the services of Wilfred Ndidi. Now, as opposed to Tillemans, Savic has played predominantly as a central midfielder. And when he didn't play as a CM, he then played as an attacking midfielder. You can call him an AM. So in terms of versatility, Yuri Tillemans has played in more positions across the last 4 years, and especially last season for Leicester City as compared to Serge Milinkovic-Savic. Now, one thing you will need to know about Mikel Arteta, he loves players that are really versatile. He loves players that can be deployed in a couple of positions across the pitch. He just loves that kind of versatility, in players. And if you look at the kind of players he's trying to sign, the likes of Gabriel Jesus can play very well on both wings and also down through the middle. The likes of Fabio Vieira can play for you as an 8, can also play for you as a number 10, can play for you on either wings of the of the pitch. Saka as well can play very well, and Saka can play a number of positions, including left wing back and right wing back as well. So Arteta loves that versatility in players, and probably Yuri Tillemans just ticks that box. Now, in terms of attack, we are not looking at the goals really and assists. We have already looked at that in terms of goal contribution. What I looked at in terms of attack is the number of shots per 90 and goal conversion, and also key passes. Right, that is what I looked at in that area and sphere of attack. And you will be very, very surprised that Yuri Tillemans actually is averaging more goals per 90, which is around 0.3 for Leicester City. And also his goal conversion is actually very, very high as compared to Serge Milinkovic-Savic's goal conversion. Serge Milinkovic-Savic is standing at 13% goal conversion. That means every 100 chances he's likely to score 13, and Yuri Tillemans is standing at 33%. That means in every 100 chances, Tillemans is likely to score 33% of the chances, which I think is interesting. He's a central midfielder, remember, and most of the time that is where he's played. So 33% goal conversion is really not that bad. Actually, according to the SofaScore, website, he can score one of every 2 chances he gets in the penalty area. That is a 50% goal conversion when he gets into the penalty area, especially last campaign, which has been very, very impressive. However, Serge Milinkovic-Savic is averaging more shots per 90, and also that is on and off target. That is the difference. Serge Milinkovic-Savic guarantees you 2.7 shots. That is on and off target, while Yuri Tillemans guarantees you massively low than that. He's actually guaranteeing you around 1.3 shots per 90. So if he comes into Arsenal, if he comes into that team where Mikel Arteta is looking for something or someone who can, one, progress the ball very well. Look at that in the passing statistics. You're also looking at someone who can shoot outside the box. Yuri Tillemans does that very well. A perfect example is when he scored that screamer against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. Very, very beautiful goal. So he's not any new, and he's not a novice when it comes to those long shots. So I think he just needs to work on the amount of times he tries to get himself to score. I think it's a problem that can be worked on. Even Martin Odegaard had the same problem. And you remember me last campaign saying Odegaard is a good player, but he needs to take more risks. He needs to start taking matters in his own hands. And this season, I think it's been quite impressive with the amount of times he's been trying to shoot on goal, and also the amount of times he's been taking the responsibility of the whole team in his own hands, in direct free kicks, in long shots. We saw one against Brighton when we lost 2-1. It was a beauty, an absolute beauty. But of course, you have a couple of other beautiful goals that he scored. The one against Everton at the end of the season, that was one. That was not a beauty. That was I don't know. I don't know. I need to read more of some English to get the right words. Now, in terms of passing, the two players are actually absolutely magnificent because they're central midfielders and they play in that area of the park where always going to be required to have the ball and release it. That is where both of them operate. So their passing statistics are actually very, very impressive. However, when you look at Serge Milinkovic-Savic, he only averaging last campaign he was only averaging 69.8 touches per 90. Yuri Tillemans was averaging 87.7 touches per 90. What does that mean, Cossy? It means total dominance. And that's what Mikel Arteta is looking for, remember. He's looking to build a team that can have the ball, that every player can have as many touches as they can, as many passes as they can make. So Yuri Tillemans in this regard beats Serge Milinkovic-Savic 100% hands down. In terms, if you're looking for players that are comfortable on the ball, the one statistic that shows you that is their ability and the number of times they're always on the ball. That shows you that a player is comfortable or at times is really not comfortable on the ball. And I'm going to say Yuri Tillemans in that regard is absolutely, is absolutely killing it. But the other reason for Serge not having these many touches is that is the fact that at times he's been playing in that advanced area as an attacking midfielder. And of course, when you're playing high up the pitch, you will realize that the likes of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard do not have as many touches as Thomas Partey or Granit Xhaka. The reason is at times they're not involved into they're not involved in the transition and progression of play. So literally Partey and Xhaka bring the ball forward to them, and they deal the rest they deal with the rest of the ball in the final third. But then also the other reason is that Arsenal have not been really that dominant. That's where you've seen that a couple of our players, especially players in the final third, are not having as much position and as much touches. But like I said, touches, Yuri Tillemans is killing it. Now, key passes. This is where a player makes a pass that directly affects the final third. That is by creating a pass that leads to a shot, or a pass that leads to a goal, a pass that leads to an assist. Those final third entries, those final third passes, Yuri Tillemans is averaging 2.3 and Serge Milinkovic-Savic is averaging 0.8. Now that is quite bizarre and odd because I said Savic has played as an AM, therefore he should have more key passes. One of the reasons as to why De Jong is seen as a failure at Barcelona is the fact that he's playing in front of a single pivot, that is Sergio Busquets, and then he's averaging very, very low, key passes. So in this regard, Yuri Tillemans then would be the player because he just allows other players to get involved into scoring goals by setting them up. And also by making sure that they get that service they need. So in terms of key passes, Yuri Tillemans is better. Passing accuracy, Yuri Tillemans is still better, standing at 89%. Serge Milinkovic-Savic standing at 83%. Serge Milinkovic-Savic is actually having 76% only success rate on passes in the opposition half, and Yuri Tillemans is having 84%. And that brings you back to the point that I've been talking about: total dominance, total football. Because with a team like Mikel Arteta's, with a system like Pep Guardiola's and Jurgen Klopp's, one thing you're going to need is you're going to have to be able to keep the ball. So your players, Partey is averaging 83% passing accuracy. Yuri Tillemans 84%. I think Martin Odegaard is slightly above that. Is approaching 90%. And it's one of the things that many Arsenal players have in common. And when you will find that when Arsenal players are losing the ball very easily, when it is so slippery, we don't win. we struggle in games. The reason is because our tactics are at total football. We just need that total dominance. That is how we survive, and that is how we thrive. So in this case, then Yuri Tillemans would be the better player. He keeps the ball better. He's averaging better. He's averaging more key passes in the final third, and also he's having more touches, which means he will allow allow and facilitate play to go on. Now, in terms of defending, this is a debate that I had with someone in our WhatsApp group, and I'm gonna say I'm absolutely sorry because I was wrong. Defensively, in terms of defending, actually Yuri Tillemans is better than Serge Milinkovic-Savic. When you look at these statistics here, you will be absolutely fascinated. Interceptions per 90, Serge Milinkovic-Savic is having 0.8, and Yuri Tillemans is having 1.3. That is per 90. Tackles per 90, Savic is standing at 0.8 as well, and Yuri Tillemans is standing at 2.0. So in terms of tackles and interceptions, Yuri Tillemans is the better player. But listen to this statistic. Quite bizarre. Although Serge Milinkovic-Savic is averaging less interceptions and tackles, he's actually having a higher success rate than Yuri Tillemans. Yuri Tillemans is involving in 3.3 interceptions and tackles per 90 and winning none, according to SofaScore, while Serge Milinkovic-Savic is winning 1.5 times, is winning the ball 1.5 times for Lazio. So his success rate actually is better in terms of dwells, in terms of winning the ball, in terms of tackles and interceptions, is better than that of Yuri Tillemans. It's better. That's it. It's just better. Success rate. And then also in terms of possession, the number of times possession is lost, Serge Milinkovic-Savic is standing at 14.8 times. He's losing the ball 14.8 times. Yuri Tillemans last season per 90 only 10 times. Of course, at times he can lose those balls in dangerous areas that can hurt the team. I think it really needs to work on that. Duels won, 47 for Serge Milinkovic-Savic, success rate, and a success rate of around 48% for Yuri Tillemans. Now, on my conclusion, I'm going to say both of them are very great players. Both of them are very, very highly gifted players. But in terms of the overall game, although Serge Milinkovic-Savic is a player that is having a lot of goal contributions, but in terms of the overall importance of that position, the central midfield, passing, dominating, ball progression, key passes, and goal involvement as well, I think Yuri Tillemans is the better player. I have chosen. Let me know your choice in the comments below, and we'll speak very, very soon.